Week on FaceOff.
Hello everyone, I'm Kyle Glockner and welcome back to another episode of FaceOff. I've already talked about two of Nintendo's juggernaut franchises, so I figured I might as well talk about the third. The Mario franchise just wrapped up its 30th anniversary in 2015 and has spanned every single Nintendo console. Mario's had so many different games over the years, from the classic side-scrolling adventures to paper-based RPGs. But there's often an overlooked character in the Mario franchise, the younger brother Luigi. Luigi's usually found in Mario's shadow, but not in the case of two games in particular. And so on this episode of Face Off, I'll be comparing Luigi's Mansion and its sequel, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Let's get started. Released as a GameCube launch title in 2001, Luigi's Mansion was the first Mario game on Nintendo's new console and the first game to feature Luigi as the main protagonist. The premise of the game is that Luigi won a mansion in a contest he never entered, and upon arriving at the mansion to meet up with Mario, his brother was nowhere to be found. As Luigi begins to search the mansion, he discovers that his new home is haunted. After he meets Professor Egad, he acquires the Poltergust 3000, a vacuum with the power to suck up all the ghosts running around. This was Professor Egad's first appearance in a Mario franchise, as well as the first appearance of King Boo, a staple enemy in the franchise today. This game plays out much differently than any Mario game before it, as your goal is to collect keys to unlock more rooms to the mansion, getting ever closer to finding Mario. The main abilities you have are the ability to shine your light on ghosts and suck them up. That's it, you can't even jump. There really isn't much to this game, but it's still fun nonetheless. Now, as this is a scary game, the atmosphere of the mansion is just that, spooky and ominous. As you travel through unexplored areas of the mansion, ghosts can pop out at you out of nowhere, and honestly made me jump when they caught me off guard. This creepy atmosphere remains throughout the whole game, really giving you the feeling of exploring a haunted mansion. Luigi's Mansion is a relatively short game, requiring only 7 hours to complete, but does offer a more difficult version of the mansion after beating the final boss. But if you're looking for a game to pick up and play for only a couple hours, this probably isn't the game for you. People tended to be polarized about Luigi's Mansion, meaning they either loved it or hated it. For those who loved it, when Nintendo revealed its sequel, the hype was enormous. Released 12 years later on the 3DS in 2013, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon was a direct sequel to the original game. In this game, King Boo escaped from his painting and destroyed the Dark Moon, which made all of the ghosts in the area docile, and it's up to Luigi to piece it back together. Now, unlike the previous game, Dark Moon is a mission-based game, which breaks up the gameplay drastically. Because whereas in the first game you would just keep walking around the mansion until you found what you were looking for, you now had a set objective with certain areas of the mansion available for you for that specific mission. This game certainly feels more bland than the first entry, as I only played it for about 6 hours before never picking it up again. I mean, it does have a bunch of new features like multiplayer mode, but it just doesn't compare to the original. On top of that, the atmosphere of this game feels a lot more comedic than its predecessor. Most of the time the game goes for a cheap slapstick gag rather than an ominous overtone, which really takes you right out of the game. Overall, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is not the sequel many of us anticipated. While the first game is extremely short, it still holds up well for a game of its era. So for this battle, the winner is the original Luigi's Mansion. So what do you think? Do you think the GameCube original is better, or do you prefer the 3DS sequel? Be sure to let me know by tweeting me at ZTVGoofingOff using the hashtag FaceOff. Until next time, I'm Kyle Glockner, and I'll see you next time on Face Off.